When he heard a snicker in his ear, he turned to see the new guy trying not to laugh out loud. Yeah, laugh now. Your day is coming, he said. Mark my words. Hey, I'm Rife, he said, sticking out his fist. What's up? I'm Matt, responded Matt, extending his fist and tapping it to Rife's. Wow, now that's not a sight you see every day. Your girl sure has a way of expressing herself, he said with a laugh. Nah, man, chill. She ain't my girl. She just a friend of my sister's. Oh, so you new around here? Yeah, we just moved here from North Carolina. Yeah, I kind of figured from your accent. You play ball? Man, I was born with a ball in my hand. That's what they all say. Yo, we can take this to the courts. I love me a game of b-ball with some competition. You got it. Where you live? We live in Bed-Stuy, but we're supposed to be moving out here with my uncle soon. You got your program yet? I got to find where all these classes are. Let me see. Looks like you got most of the same classes as me. You got good classes? Yeah, they're okay. Well, what about b-ball? Yo, after lunch, we'll go to the court and shoot some hoops. You down? Sure, I'm down. And talking about being down, what's the deal on the females around here? Oh, you ain't got no problem there. You see how they were checking you. You just pick one and go for it. What if I pick two? Two? Yeah, I saw these twins this morning and they are hot. I have got to meet those girls. You know them? Did you say twins? Yeah, they were with that girl that sat on your lap. You know them? Uh, Identical, brown skin, pretty, kind of heavy. Yeah, you know them? They ignore me all morning, and I respect that. I've got to meet them. Partner, slow your roll. Those are my sisters. Oh, my fault. I didn't know. I mean, that's all right. You'll get to meet them later. Turning away from Matt, Rife fought to hide his excitement about meeting the gorgeous twins he had seen earlier. Imagine the luck being in the same school as the only two girls in this whole city he thought was good enough for him. Imagine. I better chill, thought Rife. I can't let him know I got the hots for his sisters. That just won't do. Rife was glad the teacher started speaking just then. All conversation had to cease, and he didn't have to worry about embarrassing himself anymore. The rest of the day was spent moving from class to class, filling out forms, meeting new friends thanks to Matt. Rife felt he was going to get along just great in this new city, and all his anxiety about his new school was gone. With all the hustle and bustle, you would think he wouldn't have time for idle thought. Not true. Every time Rife found himself sitting alone, he could hear Matt's voice echoing in his ear. You'll get to meet them. All he could think was how much later he hoped the answer was not long. Matt was in seventh heaven. He saw the reaction on Rife's face when he told him Vette and Nette were his sisters. A plan had already started forming in his mind how he was finally going to pay his sisters back for all the years of torture they had inflicted on him. He had to admit at first he didn't have a clue, but Lady Luck smiled on him when Rife started talking about the girls. Now that he had the source of his revenge, the only thing he had to figure out was how to use it. And there was plenty of time for that. Plenty of time. In fact, he was going to make sure he took his time because this had to be good. Jell couldn't wait for the bell to ring, signaling the end of sixth period because she and the girls all had lunch together, and this was one lunch period she couldn't wait for. When the bell rang, she darted out of the room and practically flew to the basement. When she walked into the cafeteria, she spotted the girls and Chaz sitting in the far corner, surrounded by Courtney, Dan, Reggie, Eric, Raymond, and Levon, the only guys good enough to hang out with them. Every freshman and sophomore wished they could be a part of the twins crew, but knew better than to even try for fear of the wrath of Jell. Guess who is in my first period class? She yelled across the room and sped over to the other young people, obviously excited. Do you have to yell so everyone can hear you? Asked Dan. Shut up. I wasn't even talking to you, Danny boy. I see some things never change. Ignoring the snickers from the boys at the table, Jell focused her attention on the twins. He's in my first period class, repeated Jell, staring straight at Vet. Who is in your first period class, Jell? Asked Nette curiously. The cute boy with the dreads that was on the bus with you and Vet this morning. That's who, she replied smugly. Are you serious? Asked Vet. Dead serious. And he was sitting right next to your brother. Stop playing. You can get your brother to hook you up, girl. Word, girl. I have got it made in the shade. Not after what you two did to him this morning, said Chaz matter of factly. Oh, man. I forgot. Vet, we got to think of something to smooth it out with Matt. I ain't got to think of nothing. You want to smooth it out with Matt? Do it yourself, said Vet as she picked up her books and walked away from the group of friends. What's your problem? Asked Nette, looking around at the other young people with bewilderment in her eyes. Yo, man, what's wrong with your sister? Asked Dan. Don't ask me. She was okay a minute ago. Yo, Vet, what happened? Come back. Yo, go get your sister, Nette, said Levon with real concern in his voice. No, later for her. I ain't do nothing to her. Let her go, answered Nette hotly. Why do you think she got mad? Asked Jill. Who cares? Anyway, what else is happening, y'all? Asked Eric, turning the conversation away from Vet and toward his favorite twin. It was common knowledge that Eric has a crush on Nette since the beginning of school. He was the topic of many teasing against Nette, and she went out of her way to ignore him at every opportunity. At first, he tried everything in his power to get her to go out with him. But when it became obvious she wasn't going to give in, he decided it was time to just hang out with her and her group. That way, he could still be close to her every day. In his book, a little was better than nothing at all. Nette looked at her sister walking away and felt it had something to do with Rife. Could she be interested in him? Nah, not Vet. She wasn't the type to get mushy over some guy she just met. All she wanted was to get straight A's and be mommy's golden child. She decided not to press her sister for fear they would become a source of entertainment for the other kids. What is wrong with me? Thought Vet as she walked away from her friends with tears in her eyes. Ordinarily, she wouldn't care who Nette had set her sights on, but for some reason, knowing that she was going to go after Rife and with the help of Jell and Chaz, she suddenly felt angry and envious of her sister. Why was this guy any different from any other guy? She had promised herself she wasn't going to let any guy in this school get in the way of her education, get in the way of her graduating at the top of her class and getting a full academic scholarship for college. She knew her mother was struggling to give them all a better life, and she was determined to do what she could to help. The way she saw it, getting a scholarship was the best way to do it. Boys, well, boys were always going to be around. That's what her mother said. She had plenty of time to be with boys, and there definitely wasn't a shortage of them.